welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. Probably welcome to my channel. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be reacting to Jubilee's newest video, Progressive Men versus, I can't remember. When any progressive men go traditional. I watched the first part of this video, the part one. I watched it, what makes a real man, 50 men debating. It was very traditional, like Jubilee, you're almost there. Like I feel like Jubilee, like they say they're not biased, but they're completely biased. Like especially if you look at their fact checks. Yeah, you got a little. But my opinions on that video, I did watch it on my own time. It was okay. I did see a lot of the conservative men leaning more left with the progressive men, and of course they like the title, like just the title in itself. Will any progressive men go traditional? Wait, I think they changed that title. Tora was like, will any woke men go traditional? They definitely changed that title, because last time when I added this to, like, you see over here my video content I was going to react to, it said woke. Yeah. Alright, so y'all, this is me editing like 2 hours after this, because this video took a long time to get done. So basically I had my webcam on and I didn't have my mic on, so I'm so sorry it sounds that bad, but I promise it's gonna get better, because in the middle of the video, like 20 minutes past, like reacting to the video, Jubilee's video, I realized that my mic wasn't on and you guys couldn't see my screen. Like I was just like reacting with my webcam on and nothing else after that. So you're going to see a quality switch in the mic and in the screen. I'm so sorry for that intro. It is so bad. I'm so sorry. But yes, you will not hear that terrible mic anymore throughout this reaction. I promise you. Okay, bye. Make sure my OBS. Y'all, so nobody was gonna tell me that this whole time the screen wasn't on to record. See, this is what I mean. Like, oh my god. I guess, I'm just starting out, so there's always going to be some hiccups. I'll probably just screen record this half of the video, because I knew like something was off. Like I just felt it in my bones. I was like, wait, am I like good? Like I had to check, and of course my screen wasn't even recording.
Ooh. My screen wasn't even recording. Wait, let me make sure that my camera pops up. Here we go. I'll check. You might see some pauses in the editing, so I'm going to check off and on and make sure that everything is okay. Like, make sure my mic... See, like, what is this? No, I just want my mic on. And computer sound isn't on either. Let's get back to the video. I just want to make sure. I kind of like this lighting. Kind of eats. But it probably doesn't look like this when I go on full screen on this video. But, yeah, let's get back. I am going to check this a couple times. So you might see a little bit of cuts in the reaction. But just know if you see a cut, that's just me checking to make sure that this is recording and everything is okay. Alright, let's get back to the reaction. I'm getting like more comfortable as I go, like recording wise, I love that.
Sex online, it just seems very weird and bizarre.
You're a cuck if you do. You're losing.
And I don't even think it's beneficial in the context of marriage, because what if that pornography gets leaked somehow and it's revenge porn now whoever's involved has a much bigger problem, which is one of the problems that come from pornography. I'm a Christian. I believe in traditional Christian values. I believe that it's adultery. So you're committing adultery against your wife by viewing somebody else. So I just think it largely has societal implications. Also, if it were one thing that it was going to just stay in the bedroom and maybe just you and your spouse are going to see, maybe, but but that's largely not the porn that we're dealing with. It's everywhere. Even if you don't want to see it, you unknowingly get exposed to it.
I kind of want to ask a question to the men who are on my side of the spectrum. You talk a lot about like the benefits of porn and stuff like that, and those things might be legitimately accurate things, but do you have any gripes with like the porn industry as it exists nowadays? Yeah, with like
I
the
feel like everybody can
racism
agree on that.
that's being exploited.
For
Like,
sure.
okay, yeah.
Everything is problematic. It's not like anything we discussed on this show is without problematicness. But yes, porn is problematic, but that doesn't rule it out as valid.
Right.
Always by nature problematic, so let's not do that.
And if I can, I think I would want to clarify too that porn in and of itself isn't the issue so much as maybe a lack of regulation and responsibility placed on the business side of porn, to where there needs to be more management and oversight. Whereas porn, just by the nature of its very existence, is neutral. I understand that there can be religious connotations that may make a different analysis of that, but at the end of the day, it's still people, right? And oftentimes,
Am I,
especially with
like,
the porn industry, not always, there are
tripping? He
women
looks
that
like
are
Theo
at executive
James.
positions. And then the
I'm
top two,
tripping.
it is also
Right.
regulated predominantly by men. And so I think it comes back to us as men being responsible
Just a
for
little
what
bit.
we're putting into the world and what we're allowing to put out there. And briefly, if I can shift for a moment, genuine question to explore your mind with this. But for example, I don't doubt that it is against the Christian faith to watch porn in whatever format that might be. But I would also be curious to know why, as a Christian, why not just make the personal decision as, hey, we as Christians are not going to watch porn, and exclusively we are against it, but whatever everybody else wants to do, fine, whatever.
Yeah, so as a Christian, I would disagree with that. And,
You
and
better
it's
not say
actually,
that
I'm
question.
glad you asked that because I want to
Thank you,
touch on
though.
something that I think is a little bit broader.
I-
And for
he
you to
is
just say
so
on things that are
fine.
objective.
Like, he is a fine white man. Like, just a little bit. It's like cute. He's like cute with a little bit of hot. Like, I forgot his name, but you know, he always like meteorites the, debates.
Incorrect. And pornography is one of those things. It is
Oh.
detrimental. And
Who
for
is
you to
his
just say on every
girlfriend?
subject that, well, it's nuanced and there might be some benefits and one woman might have been helped.
Sorry, y'all, I got a call. By the way, I'm using my iPhone as a webcam. So if anything like happens, I hope not.
Well, that doesn't really tell us anything. Should we watch pornography? And that was the question. Should we do it? Not, are there some nuances or is it good for some people? Is this something that we should encourage? Is this something that we should promote for people to do?
I saw some movement. Real quick, I want to hear why he moved out.
I can't stand judgmental people, man. Y'all, what's crazy about y'all guys, y'all act like y'all never, or maybe you haven't had a woman like you enough to take her clothes off and masturbate for you, or show you a picture, or show you a picture.
Why were you in and now
Well,
you're
because
out?
because Mr. Judgmental over here just shifted my, because listen. Wait, no,
Okay,
hold
let's
on.
hear what he says. Let's hear what he
Listen,
says.
this is what I'm saying. Y'all, I cannot stand, listen, I respect what y'all are saying, but when you get judgmental, that's where it gets crazy. Y'all, if you
100%.
know the game, you know women are very sexual. And women love their bodies. And women love to appreciate their bodies. And women love men who appreciate the woman who loves touching their body, especially their husbands and girlfriends. So where we're going wrong is, we're trying to say because we're not the guy to get them turned on. No. Because everybody's wife played with their before, and everybody's wife has sent a video to a guy. Just because you don't know doesn't mean you're not the guy. So don't sit around. It's wrong to sit here and judge, man. It's weak. It's weak. But the wife is a freak. She is. She's
Your wife is
she
a
loves
freak.
sex.
In a normal
guys?
Islamic tradition, I can speak on behalf of probably most Muslims in just this regard. It's just not permissible. It's not in our deen. Deen just means a way of something. Like, that's not in our deen. It wasn't around 1,400 years ago. It wasn't around 1,500 years ago. And it's just not a part of our Akida, like the way how we conduct ourselves. So
First of all, I think fundamentally there's a disagreement that we're being judgmental from this side. I think I literally sat up there and I said, I'd done it before, right? That's not me judging. That's me saying, I have the experience of what it can do to you. It's not a good thing. If anything, I'm judging myself and saying, I engaged with it. It's not something you should do. And just because you guys think you learned how to put a Hot Wheels in your butt, that all of a sudden that's a benefit, right? Like, that's a weird
You
example.
better put Hot Wheels in your butt.
But you guys are agreeing,
Oh, wow.
I'm hearing, that there's outweighing of bad things. And there's a couple good things you could get from porn, right? But that's not what we're saying. We're saying, should you do something or not? And we're agreeing on this side that you shouldn't because the bads outweigh the goods, even if there are goods.
Well, that's not what everybody said. And this is the thing that I want to, although I've had beef about this before on this show, what he said that I think is reflective of what some of you feel
is that because of your faith, you have an objective accuracy with your point of view.
Right.
And that whether you think it should be legislated or whether you think it's just how we should have social norms, one of the problems that I have and that some of us have with all of this is that you think that you believe, and I get it's part of your faith, you believe you're morally superior and your judgments thereupon are superior to ours, but that is a bullshit reason to make a mandate for other people. And nobody's saying, like a lot of you guys have repeated what we've said inaccurately in furtherance of that. So I just want to be clear, nobody here is the authority on this, but you guys have got to stop discrediting our points just because your faith backs you up.
The really quick point I wanted to make is just,
Guys, I'm listening, but I'm going to put a light on my my computer so I have a little bit of light coming through, because I feel like it's getting really dark. Especially with my blinds closed, so I'm gonna put some light on me real quick. I'm listening though. Don't
here
mind
because
me.
they said we should spend our time watching porn. Like, how do you spend your time?
Not porn.
Well, yeah, it's like I spend my time walking the dog and doing the dishes, and I volunteer at an animal rescue. And to me, when you say spending your time watching porn, that just implies a level of time commitment that I don't think is quite good.
Let me address something. So you mentioned that as long as it pertains to you, as long as you're not bothering the other person, you can do whatever you want, right? Did I
said something about like harm-related things. If you're not harming another person, there's a
right
reason is
Hope
to
to
not
credit some light.
ban someone from doing something. There's a high bar.
Porn harms you. It harms your relationship. There's statistical data. Whatever data you guys mentioned, there's more data that backs our side up.
What the data actually suggests is that the #1 predictor in someone having like problems with, like, for example, their relationships or interpersonal problems with porn is moral incongruence. So it may be more statistically likely for someone like you, a religious person, or a traditional person, to have an issue with porn, but it's actually
As soon as I see it on fact checks, I get real defensive because Jubilee, y'all be playing with y'all little
the case
fact
that
checks
people
sometimes.
who have more liberal views with that may not be as more likely to have issues with it. Now, I am standing over here because I think that, like, as Greg I think mentioned, I don't think that it's something that we should be spending our time doing. In the same way, I don't think that we should be spending our time eating junk food, etc. But it's a balance of a literal sense versus maybe an interpretive sense. I don't think that it is as black and white. And on the point of religiosity, some of the highest consumption rates per capita for porn usage are places where porn is in fact banned.
We're all men here. We're all men here. We're debating porn. I want everybody reach into your heart of hearts and be as honest as you can. Have you watched porn in the last 30 days? Raise your hand if it's yes.
All right, go higher. Now go higher.
And,
all
right.
Nice video.
Thank you guys. Okay, let's reset.
I still wouldn't consider that porn, but okay, you do you.
Moving on to our next middle ground statement. In part 1, the question was, are depressed men weak? And the
I like
agreed
this
upon
question.
middle ground statement was,
I guess men who are depressed should seek treatment.
Should seek treatment.
Awesome.
All right.
so if you agree with that middle ground statement, come to the middle. If you disagree, stay seated.
Of course, it's the conservatives like, oh, brother. Y'all, it doesn't take long to guess what party I am when it comes to political stuff. Like, men who are depressed, you think that men who are depressed, they shouldn't seek treatment? Why? And that is exactly why men are more likely to commit suicide. That's exactly why. Because it's the men in their own circles who think that they shouldn't, like, heal or seek help for whatever, like, type of feeling that they're feeling. Like, if you, like, oh God, like, if you hold that depressiveness in, like, that's probably not even a word. I don't care. If you if you like, you can't suppress something as big as depression. Like, depression, if we're talking about, like, depression, not like, oh, I'm sad this day, blah 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 blah, and then I'm good the whole week. No, we're talking about depression. If you struggle with depression and you think that the best way to help yourself is to is to just hold all that in, no. No, the only way that I could semi think of them not disagreeing with it, if they like try to say like they shouldn't seek professional help and they should work on themselves like independently, that's the only way that I can see that some people might be sitting down. Other than that, why are you sitting down? Why?
Agreed with the prompt that depressed men are weak. I say that as someone who was diagnosed with clinical depression and
clinical
anxiety
depression.
disorder, actually, too, brought on by being a cancer survivor. And it's not, depression is absolutely real. And
Yeah, it's
you can't
100%.
control when it happens to you. It just does. It could be for any reason. A disease, it could be because a loved one passed away, so on and so forth. But it absolutely is a choice to stay depressed and therefore to choose to stay weak. Again, that's not to say that you can't seek help, which I did. I went to a therapist, I had a social worker. I did what I needed to do to get better and come out on top, and I'm all the more strong for it.
I mean, I guess I just want to respond to that quickly. Is the one who was,
not.
yeah, the one who was there for that prompt. I mean, I guess first off, I think it's important to distinguish the difference between the literal meaning of that. Depressed men are weak, I guess, in a weaker mental state because of their illness. Sure, fine, in no pejorative sense, or if we're not attaching anything onto it, in complete agreement. Outside of that, I do think that is a harmful idea, and I want to speak a little bit to something that you said specifically regarding the idea that depression is a choice. I guess it just doesn't really make sense to me why someone would choose to be in a miserable state for a long time. Like it doesn't make sense to me. It's the same like that.
It's a choice because it doesn't have to define you. And you said something earlier.
It doesn't have to define you, but that's not all people. Some people can't just like close off their depression and and fight through it. That's not everyone. And so you shouldn't put that in a general sense at all.
About the rhetoric that it's harmful,
Sure.
but being presented with reality is what allows you to face it and do what you got to do to manage it and move forward.
And I would agree with you.
Since we're talking about
Like some people
treatment,
need that treatment, like need it. Like some people generally they really need that.
we're
type of
saying
treatment.
men should. Everybody here
For their
says
mental
men
health.
should seek treatment if they
Oh, yeah,
are
yeah,
depressed.
absolutely.
Yeah.
What was treatment like for you? What was that?
It was hard at first, having to talk with a therapist, having to meet with the social worker weekly. But over time, it helped a lot and it got better and better. And that was an active choice that I made to no longer allow depression to affect me.
Yeah, you can make that choice as to healing through your depression and fighting through it and taking those steps to make yourself better. But you can't choose to be depressed. Like you can choose to act on it and elevate yourself. You can't choose to
So it absolutely is a
no.
choice.
Well, I wanted to ask a question to you. You said why would people stay very unhappy? Why would they choose to stay unhappy? And I would just say to you, do you know anybody in a toxic relationship? Why would people stay in one of those relationships?
Oh, that's what he was talking about in the beginning. When he said that, I thought he was talking about being conservative. That was my initial thought. That's like that. But you know what? That's an amazing comparison for most conservatives because you are in a toxic relationship. Most of them are. You don't like this party. You really don't agree with their opinions, but you're just going to be in that party because you feel like it's the right way. That's how some, I won't say most, because most do really believe their ideals, but most, especially them social media conservatives or the people your average voter who isn't very politically educated, or in the scope of everything political, they would say it's being in a toxic relationship. That is an amazing comparison. So when he said that at the beginning of the video, that's initially the thought that I had. I didn't even think they were talking about a different topic.
Just say to you, do you know anybody in a toxic relationship? Very unhappy. Why would they choose to stay unhappy? And I would just say to you, do you know anybody in a toxic relationship? Why would people stay in one of those relationships? And there's a
He thought he ate with that point, but it's not the same at all. When you're in a toxic and abusive relationship, sometimes your only option is to stay in that relationship for the betterment of, I have a list, sorry, for the betterment of you living, having a sustainable house. If you have kids, making sure that they have a house, you don't have to go to a shelter once like something happens, you know? So that's not like, what? Completely two different things. When you're in an abusive relationship, it really depends on that person and what they need, and if they don't have any support. I'm just gonna say
There's a lot of different reasons, but for you to say that you don't know why people do that.
Fair enough, fine. But what I'm wondering is then, would you blame people who stay in toxic relationships and call them weak?
Ooh! Is he about to say yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I find fair enough, and I think that is a harmful rhetorical.
That is very, 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 very harmful. Like, some people in abusive relationships, they don't have a choice to leave. They don't. Like, you have to think, like, it depends on a person. Like, that person might have kids in the household, and if they leave, they don't have any support system. They'll have to leave their home and go to a shelter. You know, like that. It's not about being weak. It's about not having a choice. And it's also, especially if you don't have a job and you can't like save up that money secretly, and even like saving up money secretly to try to sustain yourself to get a house is probably like very, very dangerous for an abusive relationship, like being sneaky with that type of money and like progressively like building your money to move out. That's dangerous in itself. And so, no, those women, those men are not weak. Not at all.
Statement to make that demonizes people within those relationships as if they are either primarily at fault for the situation that they are in. I agree that everyone has some sort of personal responsibility for the situation that they exist in, and if people are depressed, they do have a responsibility to do so. But I don't think we should primarily reduce it to a lack of will.
I don't think
not a lack
is.
of will.
So,
not an act of will.
Does anyone else work in mental health? Kind of? No? Currently, I'm undergoing my MFT program to become a licensed
Sorry,
marriage
guys. My phone is like hooked up to this setup. Oh my god, we have so much left of this video.
right now. So
Wait, what did you say?
program to currently I'm undergoing my MFT program to become a licensed marriage family therapist right now. So I already work with people who have mental health issues. I already work as a caseworker, social worker, whatever you want to call it. And I won't push back on mental health as it exists. If you're depressed, it's a weakened state of mind, like we said before, right? But I do want to push back on the idea that seeking treatment's easy, as someone who works in there.
Yeah.
As you guys were saying, that like
100%.
getting over that first hurdle.
It's temporary. It's not permanent.
Yeah.
That's something that I would always tell myself. Me being homeless, sleeping underneath the MMA cage, getting ready to train the next day.
And
it's temporary. It's not permanent.
And I have clients who have been homeless for 20 plus years, and just seeing how that 20 plus years of them pushing back treatment, pushing their time to get help, has ultimately jaded them to the idea of even seeking help in the first place.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is what I mean when I say I have to check and see everything is okay. You know what? I think I'm going to have to... You know what? I think I'm going to have to like freaking try to get my OBS on my computer so I can like visually look and see and make sure that everything is okay so I don't have to go back and forth, because this is a mess. Like going back and forth, like I was upside down this whole time. Probably to y'all it didn't seem like that. I'll probably edit it in a way that I am facing forward. But wow. Of course.
But a lot of that comes from those original ideas that mental
I'm listening. I'm going to get my
isn't
McDonald's
real, or that
but I'm listening.
that
I'm
their
here.
depression was real.
All right, so let's hear from some of the men who are still seated. Why aren't you coming in for the middle ground prompt?
Yeah, so as a mental health professional, obviously, like, it's not like I don't care, and I don't think that, like, people should just do nothing, you know, if they're depressed. I think the reason why I didn't step forward was because I feel like maybe I took the prompt a little bit like literally. So like I don't think every patient that is depressed needs to necessarily like be hospitalized. I guess maybe that's how I took it.
Okay.
It could look like
Yeah, I can see
outpatient
that.
treatment, or maybe like you don't, there's other things you can do. Like I know for me, if I'm really anxious, like spending time with friends helps. The I am after affirmations app, like that really grounds me, and practicing mindfulness and like going to the beach or like shopping or so I feel like
I want to reread the
from the
prompt for
microphone
you.
while I'm eating. I know
Men
you
who are
guys don't wanna hear
depressed should seek treatment. Do
I
you
get-
not agree with that?
I'm saying that some people might hear that and think, oh, they need to be hospitalized. And I'm saying treatment doesn't have to be hospitalization. It can look a lot of different ways.
Right,
So
but
that's
if
why-
we broaden that interpretation of treatment, are you in the circle?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. Come on in.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
And I kind of want to say
All
something.
right,
just,
let's hear from somebody inside.
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of like want to respond to that a little bit because I actually used to agree with that. And there was a time in my life where I was like incredibly depressed, and also just so happens to be the time when I was the most addicted to porn. But that's neither here nor there. But for the longest time, I thought that I could just like fight it myself, kind of like, you know, alpha male kind of vibes, just like, you know, overcome kind of like, stoicism type thing. Like I was really weakened in my faith at the time. So I didn't even feel like God could even help me because it was just so bad. And I was just like so depressed and so lost. Growing up, even as a, you know, evangelical Christian, is like therapy was kind of like stigmatized a little bit. It's just like talking to therapists
Really?
is, you know,
I didn't know that.
shows like a sign of weakness. And I was like, well, I'm a man. Well, I mean, I can't really show that side of weakness, but I'm just saying when I was at kind of the lowest of low in my life, I almost wish that, like going back now, I would have seen like a Christian therapist or something like much sooner, because it is like, especially like with the porn thing and just being depressed, it's just like, it's really hard to come out of that yourself. Like you need community, you need people. And so I was actually in that side as I was going through
Yeah,
that.
why are
But
you
now
up
that
there?
I'm out of it and kind of on the other side, I kind of understand why it's such like a big thing.
Yeah, real quick, as a dating relationship coach, what I do with my guys, the problem is y'all can laugh all you want. You ain't got no game like I have. Laugh all you want. But anyway, as I was saying was the
Wait,
problem
why
is-
are they laughing when he said that? What's so funny about that?
As
Damn.
a dating relationship coach, what I do with my guys, the problem is y'all can laugh all you want. You ain't got no game like I have. Laugh all you want. But anyway, as I was saying was the problem is why depression is solved, because everybody can't be a man and everybody has to be a grassy and lion sometimes, is because most of these guys, they're not honest. And again, if you're depressed over something outside of relationships, I'm just talking about those that were talking about relationships. A lot of these guys set expectations for women, and they have a lot of emotions and femininity, and they get all soft. And women don't like soft people. They like aggressive, dominant men who tell women what to do, not in a dictatorship way. But when you're soft and you're weak and you set an expectation for women, and then they say no to you, and then you all soft and brokenhearted, people don't like, excuse my language, a man who has a tighter than a woman. They won't
Look
respect
at dude
others.
over here. He's
People
just
don't
like,
excuse my language, a
he
man
looks kind of high. I'm not gonna lie.
who has a tighter than a woman. They won't respect those people.
So are you saying, you know, if you're seeking help with your depression, that makes you soft?
Well, yeah, well, no, okay, yeah. If you okay, here's the thing
Yeah,
is,
by your
you're
point,
not
you're,
being
like,
honest with yourself,
rambling.
because you can go to therapy, and sit there and have a guy say, how does that make you feel? Or you can look in the mirror and take this thing called accountability and sit there and say that, you know what, I'm the reason I'm depressed. It's not her fault. We can't sit around and point the finger at every.
I was about to say something, but he did say in the beginning that this was based on towards the men who are talking about relationships, and I really even don't remember when anybody said anything about relationship, but I'm patting my head. That is so ghetto. I am so sorry. This sewing is so freaking itchy, y'all. What was I about to say? I don't remember what I was about to say.
I'm the reason I'm depressed. It's not her fault. We can't sit around and point the finger at everybody else. We got to start looking at ourselves as men and not bunny rabbits, and sit around here and saying, oh, the sky's falling because a girl doesn't like me, or I got to go to the
Mind
gym.
you, everybody's treatment in depression is individualized. Like, I don't know if I'm using that word right, but like what I'm trying to say is everybody's treatment, like, you're not gonna have the same treatment for your depression as I will. You know? It's not the same. Like, maybe I could go in the mirror through my, like, if I'm having a depressive, if I'm having a depressive, what's the word I'm trying to use? If I'm just depressed in general, and maybe I could go in the mirror and I can do them affirmations to myself, and, you know, I can, whatever, look in the mirror and say, I'm the alpha of the pack. Like, maybe I could do that, but that's something maybe that you cannot do. And you might need that treatment because because those words of affirmation are not hitting you how it should. You know? That's not everybody.
Because a girl doesn't like me.
There was a lot there that I'm going to try my best to speak to. The first one, the reason why I wanted to speak to it is because I'm a black man. And growing up in black culture, I'm going to say a lot of us, not all, but I would say a lot of black men are taught to bottle up your feelings inside, not to cry, not to show women
100%.
any emotion at all. And I would say a lot of men are taught
Look at them laughing! Look. And you know what? I'm gonna say something. Sorry, y'all. I'm gonna say something because the man that is talking right now, they stem off of very, like, they have a lot of feminine. I have a list. Don't laugh at me. Don't laugh at me. Because you're ableist. You're ableist if you laugh at me. I don't care. No, but the guy, he has a very feminine aura towards him. He comes off very feminine. If a guy on this side, a black man on this side, he was very alpha male, I promise you they wouldn't be laughing right now. I promise you they wouldn't be laughing right now. Because I promise you they're laughing at first of all, his femininity. And they're also, I didn't let it, my list didn't come through there. They're 100% talking about their femininity, and they're laughing at that, and they're also laughing at the fact that a true statement that he said, because yes, in the black community, 100%, people are always told to suppress your emotions. Always. Some parents or some people will say that it's not real, especially if you're young and you have a conversation with your parents and you're like, hey, I have this depression, I have this anxiety. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. Why? Why do you have depression? Why do you have anxiety? You're not stressed. There's no reason for you to be sad. Like, you know, that's the type of conversation that she would have with a typical black parent. So he's 100% right. And I promise you, if it was an alpha male, if it was an alpha male black man talking right now, they would not be laughing because they would bow down to the alpha. They would bow down to the alpha.
Not to show women any emotion at all. And I would say a lot of men are taught that as well. From a toxic
that is 100% true. What are y'all laughing at?
perspective, we're taught, do not show any emotion because it is a sign of weakness. But even in the Bible, Joseph went behind closed doors to cry. And then he came out and went about his business, right? So regarding to the things that he just said, treatment can mean a ton of different things.
I don't know something about the Bible with that age.
I'm going to call my wife up and seek counsel from her. I'm going to call my friends up. It could be going to the gym. It could be going for a run. It could mean a whole bunch of different things.
True.
It could be going to a therapist.
True.
Treatment can mean so many different things.
Many.
As opposed to bottle up your feelings inside, don't show any emotion, and then all of a sudden it explodes. And then that's the worst alternative. So I just disagree with what he said because it feels like this counterintuitive process to actually what therapy is supposed to do. And that can mean a whole different ton of things in treatment.
Well, my contention is kind of more so like a little bit too self-obsessed in a way, just for lack of a better word. Like it's too inward looking, and I feel like a man's role is to be more so outward looking, out in the world, taking care of business in the world. It's sort of, just for lack of a better word, like it's too inward looking, and I feel like a man's role.
I'm tripping, y'all. I was patting my head and I thought he said it's too N-word looking. I was like, what? maybe he heard that too. It sounded like N-word looking. Am I tripping? Yeah, tell me if I'm tripping.
Just to respond to what both of you said. So depression doesn't come because you're focused on certain slights. For the most part, it's due to a chemical imbalance in the brain or it's a result of trauma. Hang up. I gave you a bunch of time to speak after I interrupted you at first, but then I gave
Here they go. Let's see what this fact check says. According to Cleveland Clinic, research don't know the exact cause to depression, but contributing factors include brain chemistry, the chemical imbalance, genetic stress, medical conditions, and medications.
time to talk. Now it's my turn. So what you're applying is you're saying, it's not a chemical imbalance. It's not due to trauma and not being properly treated. It's because you're looking into yourself. What that's doing to someone who already has depression is actually making them more depressed. You're not offering them a solution, not offering them any sort of treatment. You're actually making them more sick with what they have. Now I understand that you can shake your head all you want, brother, but listen, this is this. Brother, you're a pickup artist. Eat my. Oh, you loser!
Stop! Is he about to get him? Drama in a Jubilee video? But you know what? That's not surprising. That's not surprising. He was bound. So basically, what I'm getting is y'all had a little backstage moment, and y'all figured out where he worked. Y'all figured out where he worked, and y'all making fun of him. That is not okay. But I love the drama. Give me the drama. I love it.
Brother, you're a pickup artist. Eat my. Oh, you loser! Shut! No! You can't. No, you don't get to stand there. Don't. No.
Hey.
Come, put the chair away.
Hey.
Bro, yeah, like you tried to be that. Like, let them fight. Give me baddies south. Give me baddies west. Give me baddies.
I think it's fair for him.
Like, okay, little mediator.
No.
Put them chairs back. Let's rumble.
Hey.
No, I don't.
I think it's fair for him.
You don't get to stand up and say. Otherwise, it'll be a problem.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Hey, this is
Hey, quiet.
Be respectful. Be respectful.
Don't walk in.
I didn't lose my cool.
Hey,
this is what I'm saying. Nah. This is what I'm saying.
And look,
you was disrespectful.
And then we're done.
Brother, hey, I'm gonna tell you right now. What time we out of here? We gonna find out.
No.
We gonna find out.
Hey,
okay.
We can't.
And then you gonna call the police.
Hey, we gotta be done. Hey, man, we gotta be done.
You gonna call the police, right? I'm trying to tell you.
We're gonna have to ask you to leave.
I'm trying to tell you.
Hey, man, we're gonna have to ask you to leave.
Oh, he asked him to leave too? I mean, you did threaten somebody. But I am sticking up for his little boo. Period.
Tell you. I'm gonna tell you. Oh, no, ask him to leave.
I'm gonna talk to him next.
Stop! Wait, I never saw this much drama in the Jubilee video. Like, there's always like little arguments here and there, like, you know, but it's never gotten as serious. Like, I watch Jubilee like all these times, especially these middle grounds. Like, I watch most of, not all of these, which kind of is like, I'm kind of like hitting myself in the head for that because now I don't have anything to react to. But the new ones are coming out, and I found some new videos, so it's fine. But this never happens in a Jubilee video. This is so tea.
Somebody stop. Disrespectful.
I'm gonna.
Why off the bat? I'm thinking of. I hope his son watches this because I would love to see that reaction.
Talk to him, but this isn't helping.
Hey, let me just say, I apologize.
You need to pause it.
And I apologize. I should have shown more respect to you. I apologize. I'm sorry. That was not in the spirit of what we're doing here. And I'm sorry.
And I'm sorry too, man. Because ultimately, I don't want to be. I thought we're all human beings. I respect everybody, man. I just want to be respected too. This is like my brother here, man.
Hey, guys, come over here. Can you come here for a second? John, can you come here for a second? Are we comfortable? Everybody quiet.
Okay.
Everybody quiet.
Period. This is giving Jordan Lucas, I'm not racist. Let me stop.
Everybody take a deep breath, and then let's focus on what we're disagreeing on. Let's focus on the issues.
So I disagree with
my
the prompt because I don't think we should seek pharmaceutical treatment because I'm against pharmaceuticals. You're just going to ruffle some feathers, but I don't believe in depression as a mental illness or a mental disorder. I believe in it as an experience that is caused by external factors that are in your control. And if you guys say, oh, he's bullshitting, I have a bachelor's in psych, a master's in counseling, I decided to not do the therapy path because I didn't believe in those practices. So for anyone that's experiencing this,
no, in my personal opinion, I really don't like the idea of taking medication for depression. Like, sometimes I know that it's needed, but I feel like like the first thing I would do, like if my kid told me that they were depressed, like the first thing I would do is seek regular treatment first, like, you know, therapy sessions, anything else that they might need. But automatically going to medications, I just feel like it's not healthy. Like, I don't think you should rely on medications, you know, to help to help your depression. Because I know that sometimes it's needed, but I would always like offer, like, if somebody ever came up to me, I would always offer to I would always offer to them that they should seek physical treatment before they go medicational.
It's all external factors, and I'll ask you guys this, whoever believes in pharmaceuticals, for the chemical imbalance that's been proven wrong for 30 years. Did you ever get tested for your chemical imbalance before you were prescribed pharmaceutical drugs? The answer is no. You did not get an fMRI. You did not get a urine test or a blood test that tests serotonin. You did not do a PET scan that does the monitor.
They're not saying that. They're just saying that they did a study. If you don't know what a study is, you're collecting research, you're collecting evidence, so they probably sorry, that McDonald's is messing me up. They probably conducted research with a group of a group of people that had depression, and they did what you said. Like, they did that. They're not saying that every single time you go to like the doctors and you say that you're depressed, you're going to get a freaking scan. Like, no, they're not saying that. They're just saying that a study told me this and said this.
The serotonin within your brain. So I'm just letting you guys know these are pushed on as a way for Big Pharma to push that depression is real. And I just believe it's an experience that everyone will experience differently, but it's not something that you can't control. And also, if you don't believe in it, how can it be real? If I don't believe in it, because you can't objectively measure it.
Yes.
It's a psychiatric opinion, it's a doctor's opinion, and there's no objective way to measure it.
Before we go any further, we want to take a moment to say thanks so much to for powering the...
Skip. Finally, we're on to a new topic. I feel like these topics are very long.
Relationships. That was the question
Oh,
in
yeah, I
part
remember
one,
this.
and our middle ground statement was,
If a man is failing in his leadership role, then a woman should be able to step up.
Yeah, I agree with that. A woman should be able to step up if her man is failing as a leader.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you, man. It's been a pleasure.
you know, whew. If you agree, go in.
Oh, wow.
You know, I'll start with a personal anecdote. My family, we try to be
Wow.
traditional. We're a Roman Catholic household. And the reason I say that the woman should stand up if the man is failing is because that's something that I saw in my childhood in my family. You know, my dad is the leader of our household. He always has been, and he was the breadwinner for my childhood. And in a single year,
Only
he
wanna
lost
hear
his
the liberal
business, had a
side.
heart attack, and his father died, which he
Progressive.
started his business with. And that was a bad time in our childhood. In our family life. They hid it from us kids growing up, and we had a great childhood, so that's great. But I look back at my mom, who stuck with my dad through that. She went back to work. She was a stay-at-home mom her entire life, and she stuck with him. And she went back to work, and she got him through that. And the entire time, she always looked at my dad with loving eyes, always looked at him as the leader, always saw him as the man of the house, but she stuck with him. And as a kid, being able to see that relationship, see that marriage, that was something really important, and I think something kind of unique nowadays, that I got to see that. And especially in a Christian household, that's something
love
that we
this
believe,
view.
that you get married
I really
and you
do.
are together for life. And especially nowadays, I see a lot of relationships like that, or even a lot more minor things, that those relationships wouldn't last. And so while I know a lot of guys on this side might be thinking, well, if the man isn't, you know, sticking up to it, then that woman should find a new man. I understand maybe some of what you guys are thinking, and you'll tell me in a second, but that's something I thought about for my own life, and I think that's something that we should all want in a relationship.
Let's hear from someone else here. You're standing by your statement.
I guess I'm not too sure what my progressive brethren are going to say up here. I guess I do understand that maybe the prompt says something, or the middle ground statement says something that may be misinterpreted, at least maybe I'm misinterpreting it. The way that I view if a man is
He's
failing, then a woman
second-guessing
should
himself
step up,
because everybody
isn't
sat
necessarily
down.
like if a man is failing, it is your responsibility to fix it. to the
Stand on
woman.
your opinion.
More so that it shouldn't just be that a man should be able to tell a woman, no, I'm still going to keep doing what I'm doing, and you do not have a say in this because I'm the man. I believe that it's a partnership. I think 100% no matter what's happening in the relationship, as long as you're both working together and you're both trying to make sure that you have a successful life together and a successful life for your family, then that's all that matters, regardless of the leadership roles. Not necessarily that one person needs to lead or the other person needs to lead. More so, we all just need to work together because that's what we got married to do and that's what we agreed to do because that's what the partnership is.
Let's hear from.
I'll take this.
Oh,
one
you're coming in
to start off with, if you don't mind. The reason why I cannot join you all typically in the middle is because I'm gay. So that whole entire argument is completely has a wrecking ball because how I view relationships from a homosexual male to male, when I mean relationship, it's more of a partnership. Now, yes, I've had great, experiences where my mom and dad have been together for over 40 years and they love each other. And I've seen where my dad has taken the blow and my mom has had to step up, but that doesn't apply to my circle.
I feel like that's a liberal. Stop. Not even maybe a liberal, just like a Democrat. You know? Because, like, and I'm not just saying that because he's gay. Stop. I'm not just saying that because he's gay. Just the vibes. Like, you can't tell me. That's not a liberal? A Democrat? Progressive? No? Because, like, here's the thing with gay conservatives and Republicans and everybody under that spectrum. It's just like, why? Why would you support ideals that are constantly holding you back, holding you and your community back? Like, there is no possible way that you really think that these progressive men, why do I keep saying progressive? It's not conservative. These conservative men, like you. I guarantee, there's at least 5 people in that conservative, over in that little area over there that hate this man because he's gay. They don't like you. They don't support you. They will never support you. Why are you over there? I don't get it. I never will. And don't even get me started with the trans conservatives. Don't even get me started with the trans conservatives, the trans Republicans, that whole umbrella. Don't even get me started with them. Because there is no way that you're really fighting for a party that hates you. They hate you. They don't like you. And you can say that for every POC. Every POC that is under the conservative Republican realm, they hate you. They don't like you. Why are you there?
Because as a gay man, sometimes it's 50-50, sometimes it's 30-70. It just depends, and it's not cut and dry.
Yeah, so I think that we're still sitting here because that middle ground basically affirms the initial question that men should lead. But if he can't lead, that's when the woman, so that implies then that men should lead. So that's, and we, most of us think an egalitarian view. It's like a partnership. So that's why we're still here.
Okay.
Women should lead only if the man can. You know what I mean?
I
so
got
that's
you.
Kind of the caveat right there.
I got you.
I struggled with that as well. I came over here. What was your name again? Sorry. Kino. Yeah, Kino got me over here because I was, a lot of this for me, I've been struggling with how literally to take all these prompts. And the way he described it, I do agree with his framing. I do agree as well that, we shouldn't assume that one gender is taking the leading role.
Leadership role.
I do think a good part of an interdependent relationship is if one person is in a role, whatever that role is, or whatever those roles are, and they hit a speed bump, the other person kind of steps in. I'm married. I've been married for 10 years. I'm gay, so I also relate to my fellow gay man's confusion about some of these things. But
got me anyway.
Next
and so I
time,
think that'll build a tolerance in my head of
tomorrow.
Oh, it's okay to be weak 6 months of the year, or the next time we face adversity, it's just
so
best.
cold.
I just I can just
You
kind
guys
of
will
kick
always
back
see
because
this
my wife's
hoodie.
going to step up.
So cold.
And I think that sends a message to her that to this day, praise God, there's never been a time where she's looked at me and she's like, wow, what's wrong with this? Why aren't you fighting for us,
Right.
for this family.
And when
for
that
our
can
home,
also
for
be
our
really
children.
toxic to the
Can I go
man
quick? I
because
just- I
you
think
don't
that-
love me
the reason
anymore
I'm
because
not gonna circle
I'm
this,
having a
you're
bad
never gonna
time
win
right
me over
now.
on this idea that relationships should fundamentally be structured by one person leading
Right,
another.
one
I just-
person
I
like
don't,
that is
That is not the way
ridiculous.
my brain comports. You know, you can talk to me all day about it until you're blue in the face. I fundamentally do think it should be a partnership between two people. And what
A
you said over here, this
partnership.
idea of, oh, you know, I can't be weak around my wife if I'm vulnerable with her, if I, you know, disclose to her what's going on, or however you want to frame it. Like, I think that's so harmful because for me, my partner should be the person who I'm most comfortable being my vulnerable self with. And if I can't be that to
100%.
myself with that person, I'm not going to be with that person. And I think, like, this idea that you just
100%.
always have to tough it out no matter what.
It's
leads to people
ridiculous.
just spinning their wheels. The problems often don't get better. They just get worse because people can't lean on the people in their life that they are designed to be able to lean on. So I
I'm
think this whole
saying.
idea that if you're ever going to put the word lead in a relationship that isn't through a corn maze, I am not going to agree with that type of statement.
Yeah, I think that's pretty crazy. Can I just respond real quick? Just
And
to be
I guess it
like,
really
talk to you
does.
real quick.
Listen, and like when I say this, I'm not generalizing it. Like it depends on the woman. It depends on how you want your life to be structured. Like it depends if you want that dominant, if you want that leader man. Period. If you want a man that will sustain your life, and you want to be a housewife, or you want to stay at home and raise the children, like that's you, and that's okay. Like that is okay. You can control your life how you want to control your life. I would never ever force anything like that down a woman's throat. Like it is your choice. It's your choice. You can do what you want, and that's completely okay. But for me personally, yes, I do want that dominant man in a relationship. But do I want him to have to constantly stress and worry over me and what I'm doing? Do I want him to constantly try to sustain my life? Like, no. I'm also going to continuously make sure that he is supported, make sure that he is getting what he needs. Like, I'm never, no, it should never be that.
I'm not saying you can't be reliable. I have other sources that I go to. So I have people that I go to. Like if I'm, if I'm, I have a brother that I have
Just
a great
checking.
relationship.
Make sure
I
it's
have people
recording.
at church. I have a men's group as well. I go to them because they're more experienced as male leaders that believe in the same things. Of course, I'm not going to win you over, but that's why you're on that side and you're wearing blue.
Okay, fair enough.
But let's just move past that disagreement.
We all talk about like how it's supposed to be a partnership, and the reason I am here is because a partnership also, I know you're gonna hate this, but delineated in a business sense, a partnership has different responsibilities.
Business?
It has people who are best
You're
at
already
certain
bad.
things.
It's already giving red flag.
When it comes to even depictions of Hindu deities, there's one famous depiction where the body is physically split in half, one side man, one side female. Because here's the thing, leadership is a, can I swear? Shitty job. Leadership is a shitty job, and it's a menial job. What do women have? Women have the power to give birth, create life, to generate and guide the next generation. That is a far more useful purpose of like basically being like the Marie Curie and like guiding the growth of a nation rather than, oh, I've got to figure out what we're doing for like checks and balances in
Is
our
that leading?
house.
Is that leading? What do women do in that sense? Is that leading? Because they're
creating.
But you're putting what men do in this category of leadership. Men
Right.
lead. What women do, that's not
He's
Listen, people are
cooking.
throwing rhetorical versus literal.
Guys, I
all
don't
day
have my
today
glasses
to an
on right
annoying
now, but
sense.
it is so reflective.
Literally, leadership
Like, you
just
see
means
how effective
to
it is?
lead for like making a decision. Now,
I need
anyone
black
that's
light
here that's
glasses
married,
while
I'm not married, but
streaming.
anyone here
I
that's
mean,
married,
recording.
no one's taking a decision like in a vacuum without their partner. That's the quickest way to divorce. They're all taking into consideration. So the word leadership, because of all like the toxic masculinity, red pill bullshit on YouTube, sounds bad to people's ears these days, but a man's job is to create order. A woman's job is to create the universe. Let him figure out the basic bullshit.
Oh,
Let her
brother, give me a
build the
break.
You're still giving him the final say.
No, who has the final say?
Leadership,
No one said.
Ultimately,
Hey,
I've heard it many times.
Oliver, let's
discussed with
just
you
pass
guys.
the mic to
I've heard it
someone
many times.
else.
My
I see a
wife
hand.
can consult me. My wife can talk with me about it, but ultimately it's up to me. I heard
No.
it somewhere
So
over
some
there.
people, but those.
Hey guys, Shane here. I had
They
a quick
cut him
question
off.
because it's kind of interesting because I'm kind of held up on the word should. It's interesting to see a lot of traditional men actually up there and not the progressive.
Because yes, men naturally lead, women naturally follow, and I don't really understand like why we're just saying like, oh yeah, like, well, women can do X, Y, and Z. Yeah,
I'm
like,
sorry.
don't get me wrong.
I could never be with a conservative man. Like, I would Trust me, I'm finding the nearest bridge to me. I'm looking up on my Google Maps. Nearest bridge to me, and I would jump off a cliff before I had to date a conservative man. Like, I cannot. Like, and you know what? I'm going to talk about this more in the video I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm basically going to do reacting to hot takes on TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube, like political hot takes. And I'm going to talk about this more tomorrow because I do remember there is a certain video that talks about would you ever like not be friends with a conservative or Republican? And I will consider that like also dating also. And I'm going to talk about this more. But I cannot, like, how do you believe the things that you believe? Like, you believe that people should have no human rights. You believe that people should, like, hello? Like, no, I don't want that as a partner. I want nothing. I don't know. Because in all reality, I'm going to talk about this a lot more tomorrow. But, because this video is an hour long, I'm not going to react to anything else today. Because in all reality, your political party dictates your morals. Like, if you tell me your political party, I can automatically assume, well, yeah, it is an assumption, but I can assume your beliefs. And I guess it depends on those beliefs that I would be stagnant with. But like, if you consider yourself a conservative, then you are like really far right. So like, obviously I know your beliefs, I know your ideals. Republicans, that might be different because a lot of them vary, and people that call themselves Republicans, they are not even Republicans. They just want, a better economy. And they just say they're Republicans because of that. Give me a break.
And that's actually true, but the women that I've seen in these leadership roles, in these more dominant roles, are super unhappy and resentful. You look at some of the marriages too, where women are actually leading their household. They actually get divorced most of the freaking time. You know what I mean? So it's just super crazy. They actually resent their husbands for actually not being the breadwinners.
I mean, it depends on the person.
They are not built to be in the trenches for making the money, and on top of that, maintaining the household.
I'm actually familiar with the research in regards to women making more than men and then
really
having a higher divorce rate. The reason for that,
if you didn't want that lifestyle that you're in, then you let that man know. You let him know, okay, this is the lifestyle that I want for myself. And if you guys can't, if you guys don't, then you can leave.
was because, and you may have actually noted or hinted to it earlier, was because despite making more of the money, they were also had the burden of doing all the household chores and all of the sort of domestic labor. So that was
I didn't even click that because that is why they're leaving. Because not only do they have to work, but they're also managing the household. They're managing your children on top of that. You're a bum. Why would I be in a relationship with a bum? You're a bum. You do nothing for me. Why would I be in a relationship with you? Obviously, yes, we're getting divorced because not only are you not taking care of the house, not only are you not taking care of our children, but I'm also paying on top of that. What are you doing? What are you doing? Yes, they're going to leave. I didn't even consider that. Yes, they're going to leave. Obviously, they're going to leave because you're putting all of it on her. Again, relationships always be 50-50. As I was saying, relationships should always be 50-50. Always, all the time. Because there's no way that you're about to have me doing all this stuff on top of working. You're a bum. You do nothing for me. You're not supporting me. A relationship is a partnership. We are partners. What are you doing? You're a bum. That's why I'm going to divorce you, and that's why I'm going to find a better man. A better man that can not only support me, but a better man that is balancing, taking care of the house, taking care of the kids, and working. Yes, that is why they're divorcing.
Of the
Thank
men
you.
not stepping up and fulfilling what many of you would consider the feminine role in the household and not doing some of the domestic labor. So yeah, that's all I wanted to respond to, but I don't think it's necessarily going to be the case that just because a woman is able to be successful in her role, be it career-wise or economic-wise, that's necessarily going to break down the foundation of your relationship. I think if anything, you should aspire to want a woman who is driven, and it could be driven in the sense of raising your household, but I think it's also perfectly normal and perfectly fine to want a woman who's extraordinarily driven
ate with
and
that,
smart
'cause
and
why am I
intelligent
dating a
and
bum?
want to fulfill something
It does nothing
outside
for
of
me.
raising a family.
Yeah, I'm
If
divorcing
she has
you.
that purpose, then 100%.
Our final
That's
middle
cute.
ground statement from part one. The question was, is Elon
Thank
Musk
God.
a good masculine role model?
Oh,
and
yeah,
the middle
nobody-
ground statement was,
Well, some people
Elon Musk is not a
Some people did
good
think
masculine role model.
Absolutely
It's really
not.
that easy.
Sounds
Elon
good.
Musk is not a good role model.
All right, let's fight about something else.
Most of not everybody.
Come on, please. Oh my God.
Pretty crowded over here.
Someone want to call him a loser? I got no.
Okay, so
Wow, there's
Elon
a
Musk has done a
progressive?
number of things, positive things. A lot of people wouldn't necessarily say that now, but he's landed the rocket. He's made an amazing car that's done amazing things.
Your
Now he's
accomplishments doesn't
working
equal your
with the president.
masculinity.
A lot of people say
Or
that's
your role
like
model,
mixing
like-
oil with water.
or your role
but then
model,
again,
like,
you have to give these people a chance. We don't know
period.
where Doge is going, and we're not really
Don't ask
exactly
me
sure
that
if it's
word
going to
was. I
help
don't
out or not. You have to be a judgment of the statement, whether or not this is going to happen. You have to give it a chance and understand. I'm not too sure if crypto is really up all in because of the Dogecoin. I don't know. It's all interesting.
Napoleon, what? This is your statement. Why are you here?
So I switched because between the lunch break when I made that statement and now I got a Venmo from Elon. No, no, it's because essentially, all jokes aside, he has shortcomings, but I want to see what he does in the future because we are not measured by what we're doing in any one given moment. Like people hated him when he
First
did
of
the
all,
peep.
Elon Musk has been around for years. Years. You have enough information about Elon Musk to determine if he's a good role model or not, if he's a bad role model or not. Just because he has a little bit of political standing doesn't mean that you can't determine if he's a good role model, if he's a bad role model, if he's a good masculine role model, if he's a not good masculine role model. Like, Elon Musk has been around for a long time. I understand if you're just like now like saying Elon Musk, and you don't have an opinion based on him yet, but you can definitely like over the years you could definitely like put together if he's a good role model, if he's not a good role model.
Pal, or like I think like the version of MapQuest that he used to sell, or people hated him during the first part of Tesla, and now they hate him during Doge. Like
There's reasons for that.
There's so much more to
Why
that
they hate
potential
him.
story of fighting adversity. And now whether is it fighting adversity because I think someone referenced like I think we were talking about possibly he has narcissistic tendencies, or is it because it's like narcissist
Like kicking your trans daughter out of the house is not a good role model. Like that is not a good role model. In what world is kicking your trans daughter out a good role model? Your kid, period. In what world is kicking your kid out of your house a good role model?
grifter or someone who genuinely sees the way the wind is blowing and wants to see what is doing better and is like accepting his mistakes, whether they're a literal blown up rocket in his face or, you know, some other thing that he did wrong in the past. So maybe there's a chance that he can show the masculine example of bettering himself.
But I think, as the person who agreed with you initially,
There are a lot of people that have a really good accomplishments, but they are still not good role models. They're still not good role models. You can have a lot of accomplishments, and not be a good role model.
I never said Elon Musk didn't have virtues. I think he does. Yeah, but I think my reason for not thinking he's a good role model is that he, among other things, consistently refuses to take full responsibility for the things he's done that aren't great. And so I think
My feet are so
he
cold
may.
right
It's
now.
not. You're right. It's not fair to judge
You guys don't
anybody's
understand.
lifetime midstream.
I'm
That's not fair at
literally
all.
dying right
but
now.
having said
I hate
that,
having cold
just because
feet.
he's done some great
It's like they
things
never-
and he
like,
might
the
do great
coldness
things
never
later,
goes away from
that
your
doesn't
feet.
erase his poor judgment when it comes to his family and other things he's done that aren't great that he has to take responsibility for.
I was really shocked when the majority of people on my side said that they didn't like Elon Musk, and then kind of additionally on that side as well. It shocked me because
Shock. We hate him. We hate that man. Why would we like him? He is terrible. Elon Musk is not a good guy.
when you take like American history or you learn about the history of this country, you hear about Carnegie, Rockefeller, J.P. Morgan Chase, and the robber barons of the last century. And Elon Musk, Bezos, Zuckerberg, that is what is going on now. These people will be in the history books, and I think it's just so ironic that people can somehow justify to themselves that a man like Elon Musk, he's not even American, came over here, not only got the car industry, like, yeah, we have Ford, we have Chevy, Cadillac, GMC, etc. He was like, you know what, I'm going to make a car company. One, it's going to be American. Two, it's going to be electric. Like, I think on both ends, economically, we benefit from that. Even just like sustainability wise, I don't think anybody's going to really argue with that all that much.
Again, first of all, I want to start off with saying this. I feel like a lot of people do forget that we have had billionaires and very rich people in the political realm, like, especially, and yes, that close to the president. Yes, Thomas Jefferson. Hello, he didn't start off as a political figure. He started off as a very rich man. And that is really where it starts. Honest to God, there has always been a lot of rich people under the president, because it's all about getting money, you know. It's for them. It's just getting money. They really don't even care about his policies. It's just like they need money for their business, and I think that we're just now seeing in today's like society, we're seeing that yes, billionaires and people that make a lot of money do have influence over Trump, you know, in the political realm of the world. Wait, what else did he also said
I
something
think on
else I wanted
both
to talk
ends,
about.
economically, we benefit.
Oh yeah, he was talking about his accomplishment with Tesla, like his accomplishments with Tesla. Again, your accomplishments doesn't make you a good role model. Like there are many bad people in this world that have amazing accomplishments, but they are a terrible role model. And that's not somebody that you would want your kids to look up to. That's not somebody that you would ever want yourself to look up to at all. Let me find like what example could I say for this? I can't think of it on the top of my head right now. But you guys know what I'm talking about. Like there are people in this world that, yes, they have amazing accomplishments, but would they ever be a role model? Are they a good person? No, they're not.
From that he got a lot of flack for, and his his
This is about
just strong
masculinity, so I'm
resolve,
sorry.
his virtue by purchasing Twitter. And even if you don't like Donald Trump or you don't like anybody else who got canceled with the whole like Twitter was not allowing the president of the United States to speak on their platform, he purchased it back.
Look at his face. He looks so shocked. I forgot the mediator's name. Icon. But look at his face.
Like Donald Trump or you don't like anybody else who got
He's
canceled
like,
with
is
the
this a
whole like,
progressive?
Twitter was not allowing the president of the United States to speak on
He's
their
looking
platform.
back like,
he purchased it back because he believed that we have the
Yeah.
right to have a voice.
You
whether
must
or
not know
what we say is
anything about
popular.
Elon Musk if you believe that.
Whoever
I'm being
you
so
are,
serious.
If you're the president or you're just some guy off the street. And I think it's really ironic that people can't get behind that. But anyway, that's
Guys,
just
it
me.
might get dark for a
Okay,
second.
can I
I'm going to
go?
look something up real quick.
So I don't care about what you said, but I think the word masculinity, which comes into play here, because again, being a very gay man myself, I'm masculine. I'm very, very masculine. I have a deep voice, probably more than all of y'all in here. You know, and which doesn't make me, but it's.
What'd you say? I didn't hear you.
I really exactly.
I actually don't know.
I
He said
said
he-
my voice is deeper than most of all y'all in here. So masculinity is the topic of this, not rockets and what he can do on X. And that's not. It's about.
Say
That's
that
what I'm saying.
One of the main reasons why I identify with Elon is because he is autistic. I am as well.
This is masculinity. This has nothing to do with masculinity. I'm
Okay,
sorry,
let's
like-
let him finish. It's the fact. One of the things that he came up with. A lot of people have.
Really? 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 I can't. Okay, like I can't. Like if Hitler had autism, is he a good role model? Because you have autism, he has autism, then like, yeah. You support him? Like what?
Tested him. Disney came to him and he said, "Go f- yourself. I know all this shit." But he has come up with the name woke mind virus.
And?
It is true. It is accurate. It is affecting
making
this
masculine? I don't
country.
get this.
It is destroying.
Because we're talking about masculinity. Masculinity is leadership. He is definitely a leader, and he's a proven leader. He's a proven leader right now. You cannot tell you. There is nothing you can tell me that's saying that Elon Musk is not a leader. Another thing is we cannot say that everybody in here is perfect. So even you, as a man, to your own kids, you're not perfect. So if you want your kids to
like, this point could be made. This point can be made on. This point can always be made. Just because you're masculine doesn't mean that you're a good leader, and it doesn't mean that you're a good role model.
I was torn to go up there. At first, I was going to go up there because I was like, yeah, maybe he isn't a great role model. But then I thought about all of his advancements, and we're just going to completely disregard that. And then you bring up
It doesn't matter.
the threshold, right?
Can somebody say
there's
that?
a
It doesn't
lot of
matter.
different
It
character
doesn't.
traits that make up a masculine man, right? We think about virtue, we think about honor, dignity, all
God.
these different things, right? So my question to that is, then who defines what the threshold is?
Why he look
Because
back like that?
Not everyone is perfect. Everyone makes a lot of mistakes. I have people within my family.
He reminds
who,
me of a close
you know,
friend
who
I
are
had.
men who
A
I
lot.
Through all of the middle ground statements from
Oh my
part
god, we're
one.
almost done, guys. Listen, I love reacting to stuff and I love stating my opinions, but I am freezing and I have to edit after this, so I'm dying to finish this video so I can just edit and post it and lay in my bed to warm my cold feet.
I now want to
My
give
feet are
all
so
of the
cold
men in
right
this
now.
room the opportunity to change the
annoying.
label of the group that you're in. So if you no longer fully identify
Okay, guys,
as
let's guess on who is going to change, okay? I have my setup right now. You guys know what my setup looks like right now because I probably by now took a picture of what it looks like. But I'm going to move my camera so I can see everybody because I can't see everybody right now. So I'm going to move it. I'm going to hold it, which is probably very, very weird. You guys probably like, this feels weird. Let me make sure that guess who will be.
No, in mostly romantic relationships,
Hold up.
in terms of social issues.
Oh, wait. Did I go back too far?
Up to, I believe that threshold is
other areas. Now,
man, or as
model, it's
unfortunate.
Then
speak a few times.
Question today, at least for the prompt, is today is we value being that is not the just not
all of the men in this room.
Okay, so let's take a guess on who is staying and who is leaving. Okay, I feel like I know that. Where is he? Where's my gay man at? I feel like the dude, you guys know who I'm talking about. I feel like the dude, the gay black man, he was bald. Is this him? Can't see. My glasses. I don't have my glasses. I feel like he might go left. I feel like you haven't heard a lot of them talk. He's definitely not going left. He's definitely not going left. He's definitely not going left. I don't know. Maybe him. Maybe. Maybe. Who's going right? We honestly didn't see a lot of people talking over the side that had opposing opinions, but him, possibly. I guarantee maybe 2 people will leave from this section, and I think at least 4 from here. Let's see. Let me put the phone back. Ooh. Okay, let me make sure that guys look good. Whoa! You guys didn't tell me the camera was off. Why didn't nobody tell me that the camera was off this entire time? How long have y'all not seen me? Too close? My bad. I'm sorry. Okay, alright. Let me put the camera back. Alright, let me make sure you guys look okay. Alright. It's a little blurry. I don't know why it looks like that. Maybe it's just my settings on my phone. I'll fix it for the next reaction. Okay, let's see.
That family thing that I think
Let's see.
To move to the progressive man, or all of the men in this room the opportunity to change the label of the group that you're in. So if you no longer fully identify as a progressive man or as a traditional man, and you see yourself more as a moderate,
He's thinking
that feels
about
like
it.
a better representation of how you would categorize yourself. I want to give you the opportunity
I think
to move
he
to
will.
the middle.
That Elon Musk conversation was insane. Whoa! Whoa!
Once a dirty lib, always a dirty lib, man.
Wait, he's liberal? I knew it! I knew it. What did I say? That is a liberal man. Maybe a Democrat? That is a liberal or a Democrat man. I'm telling you right now. I knew it. I know, yes. I'm a little shocked for this one. We haven't heard a lot from them, so let's see.
I grew up as one, you know, I've been liberal my whole life. I've just become more traditional in like mostly romantic relationships, you know, as I said, how women like to be treated and like protecting, providing, as well as fiscally conservative. As I get more and more money, I'm like less about taxes and shit. But on terms of like...
He's just not serious. Look at all of them. I fully expected him to stand up. I'm not going to lie.
social issues, which seem to be the main dividing factor. I think a lot of social issues can be solved by just like minding your own business and like not really caring what these other people do to an extent. I know that there's like getting it in people's faces, which I'm against. I think my traditional men knew what stance I had with the LGBTQI transformers, then they would disown me because it's like their business, and so I really don't mind that. Or other, my body, my choice, all that shit. Like I'm all for that. So, and also, they were very religious, which I
just take the microphone. Take the microphone away from him, bro.
Not the most.
Take the microphone from him.
They're talking all this shit, bro. They're like, save yourself for marriage, all this shit, bro. Man, I don't know.
Okay, thanks, Jerron, for starting us off.
I want to just speak to my trad guys. When we say that we want to take down things like the patriarchy or like misogyny versus misandry, I believe that, misandry is just as bad as misogyny. I do believe that there are things that we should address that affect men specifically. So I still think I am progressive, but I don't want to feel like we're leaving men out of this progressive movement. So that's why I wanted to take that opportunity.
We share similar values. Like over on this side, I also share similar values with y'all as well. One thing that I realized
knew who would
is
come
that
up.
not too
He didn't
many
come up at
people-
first.
Well, when we were doing the one-on-one, different, right? But when it came to my overall views on stuff, I didn't see too many people disagreeing with me. And it's because like I'm Muslim, I have a very unique view on a lot of the things. Like I'm pro, like if you gay, you want to do what you do. Hey, it is what it is. That's between you and God. And if you don't believe in him, all right, then I guess if one day all of us die, if I'm right, I get to laugh about it. And if you're right, then it is what it is, right? So so my views are just different. So like a lot of the guys over here, like they were saying, Christ is the only way. Okay, cool. Respect to that. If that's what y'all genuinely believe, hey, alhamdulillah, that just means all praise is due to God. Y'all rock exactly how y'all gotta rock. But me as a Muslim, I don't necessarily just co-sign that.
I'll keep it short. I think the thing that makes me more purple.
He deserves
so
to
I
be
have
over
traditional
there.
beliefs. I have blue beliefs as well.
I
is
knew.
because I identify in the LGBTQ community. I don't view, I don't view traditional relationships between a male and a woman the same because I don't transcribe to that. It looks very different for me, so that's why I'm pretty much over here. But I love y'all both.
Yeah, for me, I kind of always been moderate. I'm just the type of guy, I go what's in my best
We didn't hear him
interest.
at all.
I go what makes sense to me.
Not a lot, at
What's
least,
going to make me
'cause I don't
progress
remember.
in this society that's ever so changing. Every 5 years, the environment always changes. So it's very important for me to adapt. But each and every single one, you have some good points.
Mm-hmm.
That is my whole view of it all.
Thank you. All right, I want to give you guys the opportunity to ask these guys questions.
Sure. I have a question specifically. I forgot your name. What's your name?
I'm afraid of you.
That's real. That's real. That's like being a fan of Ryan.
I loved hearing your story and and things like that. I guess my question would only be for you. You said a lot of things that resonate with me. caring about men, wanting the best for men, caring about, ideally a society in which we don't crucify people who make
Sorry, I'm so hot,
mistakes
guys.
or,
I'm like
give
hot and
them
I'm cold
their
at the
best
same time.
hearing
It's
in terms of the needs and
serious.
stuff. And I think just for me, I guess, does any of that really take you away from the progressive movement? Like, I guess, I'm someone who would identify as a progressive.
Yeah, like, how
but,
does that-
I'd say I'm 70-30. There are many parts of the progressive movement, like, that are just so annoying and result in us basically losing anytime it comes to coalition building. So I think in that sense, is it possible for you to still consider yourself a progressive, but maybe, as you're talking about, like, caring about men's issues? I think caring about men's issues is an inherently progressive issue that we should work for on those grounds.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad I'm still in blue for that, because like I do believe that, like, for example, the rates of high school dropouts for boys are higher than for girls. Mental health, suicide rates higher for men, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like as we talk about mental health and so forth, we have to make it feel like men are included in that. And so I'm still progressive, but I just want to make it feel like,
True.
progressives don't care about that, I think. So,
And I would just like to
Like, when
clarify
you're talking
that
about mental
we do
health,
care about
basically,
that. Very
it's
much
men.
so. So just I
That
want
is
to
a
let that
bad
be the
thing.
case.
Yeah, I have a question for the pearl necklace. What's your name?
Gibberish on all platforms, JBBRSH.
Some of the things that you listed when you were
Oh my
talking
God,
about the
get
things
this
that you liked
guy
about
off
the
this
traditional
stage.
side, provider, protector type things. Do you have any other examples of what you do like still from the traditional side, or is it just that?
Yeah, it's pretty much romantic relationships and fiscally, bro. I mean, socially, I think there just needs to be like, maybe, because there's a weird dichotomy of like, oh, don't take my guns and don't control me, but also control this other shit that's going crazy. And I think to an extent, the reason I was wary to identify with the libs is because on the far left is just as bad as far right, bro. It's equally closed-minded. On the left side, they're saying all this shit like, you can't do this shit and I should be able to be trans and whack it in your face. But like on the other side, it's like, we aren't teaching like crazy Bible shit and oppressing our kids with it. Like, I'm saying both extreme sides should not be like imposed on people.
So sorry, brother. I was forgetting your name. Michael. I was like, yeah. So my question to you is, words have meaning. And so when I think of traditional, when I think of conservative, I do believe it's kind of an oxymoron to be socially liberal. I believe that if you're traditional, especially, you kind of do have to ascribe to that. What did you, in going through the process of signing up as a traditional, what was going through your mind when you're like, yes, I'm very socially liberal, but I want to identify as conservative or traditional? Because just because like this is an ongoing conversation in the conservative circles of what does that actually mean. And so to me, going traditional is actually even a step up from conservative. Yeah. And if you want tradition, it's like you have to have the ability to be able to pass it down. Yeah. And so like in your case, obviously you wouldn't be able to unless you, of course, adopt it or something. Yeah. So I just kind of want to see your thought process as why did you choose to subscribe to traditional versus progressive?
I'm going to keep this as short as I can. Yes, that's a really good question. The reason why I prescribe more to traditional is because, like you said, things have been passed down, whether it's from society or your family norms. Being a gay man, I really believe in monogamy. I believe in finding your person and like building a relationship that's loving around that. And unfortunately, that hasn't been my experience with a lot of gay men. A lot of gay men believe in polyamory. When we look at the numbers from Gallup, according to 2021, 711,000 people got married that year. 98% of it was heterosexual relationships. About 1.2% of it was male-to-male relationships. So the idea of finding your person and wanting love and true romance has been hard to find. That I believe, because I'm still hopeless out there. In 2015, it became actually legal for all 50 states to get married as a gay man. That's very, very recent. And then in 2020, it became legal for you to actually be out in the office and not get fired for it. So when I look at the ideas that my mom and dad instilled within me wanting to find my spouse, it's very traditional. A lot of gay men, unfortunately, I say unfortunately because I think it's hurt our numbers, and it's why there's so much confusion when it comes to the apps and why people are frustrated because everyone, there's so many people sleeping around with each other, and it's just not a traditional view.
It's just really good to see how other men from all walks of life, different views.
I didn't mean to sound that excited. I promise you, I didn't. I didn't mean to sound that excited that it was over. I'm sorry.